Hello, the Hive. Welcome to Queen Bee's Hive. If you love and appreciate Diana Gabaldon's exceptional writing and the complex and lovely, beautiful, wonderful Outlander universe, this will be a great place for you. A special place to explore, to wallow, as our bees, lovely bees, do, and uncover her exceptional creation with friends who share the same passion as you do. Very excited to finally share my first post detailing my vision for this page, as well as the type of content and rewards for my patrons. I will also detail in this video what you can look forward to in the upcoming months, as well as on the horizon long term. Uh, I know this has been a while coming. Forgive me, things have been a wee bit nuts, as some of you know, for me lately, as we have been trying to very desperately get ready for the Go Tell the Bees That I'm Gone release. I have been kept to be a very busy bee. But hopefully this post will get you very excited about all that's to come here in Queen Bee's Hive. It is really going to be a great place to be if you're a Diana Gabaldon fan. Those of you that know me know how gaga I am over her. First, you might be thinking, who is this queen bee lady and why do I want to be in her hive? So let me introduce myself and tell you a little bit about who I am, my background, and what propelled me to start this page. My name is Angela Hickey. I am a Jersey girl, born and bred, who's married to a wonderful man named Tom, who shows great patience for my Gabaldon passion. While I am a member of several wonderful Outlander groups, my very first Outlander group was Outlander Cast with Marion Blake, and I currently volunteer on their staff as a blog writer. And I also have created and lead a deep dive book study group on their book club page called the Beehive, that I've developed and which has become a wonderfully dedicated community of great friends as well. Many of my beehivers have already joined this page before I even put a post up. And I hope and they're just wonderful, wonderful people. And I just hope that community flavor that we've grown among us ourselves will pollinate over here and grow as well. So a wee bit about me. My background lies in communications and public relations. I also have a minor in literature and psychology, which both kind of feed into that degree as well. I worked in communications and public relations management for about 25 years before leaving work full time for varied health issues that I have. During the course of my career, I've also designed and taught courses on writing, on public relations. My background gives me somewhat of a deeper understanding of perception and perspectives and motivations and character and relationships. Like, this is pretty much what we have to understand about our audiences. We have, we study audiences in my field. So, and we understand like all of their demographics and what makes them tick and where they're coming from and what their background is. So it's kind of really in my wheelhouse to really get into the characters and their motivations and understanding their perspectives and all of that kind of thing. What's motivating their behavior, what past things they have had experience that lends them to do the things they're doing now, etc. Diana really masters this, and this is one of the things I loved first about her. Is she's such a master of really authentically representing characters, what they would truly say, what they would truly feel in their given conditions. These areas of her writing really submerge her readers into character perspective with so much depth and so much nuance and so much honesty, that it can actually jar some people. Some people that are not used to that may feel a bit like it's too real. It may feel too real for some people because she's very brutally honest. She's brutally honest for the time period. She's brutally honest for You know, if somebody's going to be a jerk in some situation because they're angry, she's going to show that, whether they're your hero or they're not your hero in the story. And I like that. I'm a geek for all of those things. So I am all in on Diana's brand of brutal honesty. I enjoy teaching, illuminating, exciting other people about topics that I love, which leads me here. I discovered Outlanderverse and Diana Gabaldon when Sony announced their contract to produce the show in mid 2013. When I heard the story concept of Outlander and what it was going to be about and how it was based on this book series, I thought, how on earth have I missed these books? They sound exactly like everything I love. And they were everything I love and more. All the genres, you know, the history, the romance, the time travel, the lore, the sight, the supernatural, you know, all of it, you know, is so many things that I love in books and stories and movies are all rolled together in these books. And so I said, you know, they sound like everything I love. I need to read these books, which I did. And I had them all read before the eighth book released in 2014, which, you know, it actually was fortunate because I was able to roll right into that instead of this agonizing wait from Echo to Moby. Since then, I've immersed in all things Gabaldon, including reading all the books probably at least 10 times now that I've read through all the series, all the novellas, everything, all the Lord John series, and, you know, the beloved Lord John series, which I adore. And when I read, I kind of really immerse when I read. So like I sometimes will reread the same thing like 3 or 4 times to really get all the nuance of what it's saying. So it really probably it's even more than 10 times if you count that. Um, just after the show began airing, I discovered the wonderful Outlander Cast podcast and blog. And this particular page this company, it's an all-encompassing entity with a podcast, with a blog. They've done interviews with, you know, the directors of the show, and with the writers of the show and the creators of the show. They've interviewed Diana Gabaldon herself. I think they've interviewed her twice. Um, and they have a great website, as well as two dedicated Outlander Facebook community groups. One is called the Outlander Cast Clan Gathering, and that's pretty much all of everybody, all the show watchers, all the book readers, all the people that do both. It's where the podcast airs. It's where they do like a you know, feedback on each episode, and so forth. And then there's also the Outlander Cast Clan Book Club, which is basically really just for book readers. It's a place where they can talk without worrying about spoiling things and so forth, which you can't do on the other page. But it's more about the books. Um, and I serve as a blog writer, like I said there, as well as lead book studies on the Outlander Cast Clan Book Club on Facebook in a subgroup that I developed and created called the Beehive. During the season, I also write deep dive reviews for each episode. Um, and the reason that they call me Queen Bee is because I lead and develop the Beehive Book Club. So so that's kind of where I got the moniker Queen Bee. They do that, they call me that affectionately there. Over the last 8 years, I've attended numerous conferences with Outlander key figures. I've led specialized short-term um, group studies. I've interviewed Diana. I've also led single day seminars for libraries, special programs. I've taught a 5 week, 13-hour college course on the world and culture of Outlander. I was even, this was the big highlight of my life, was that I was selected to teach 2 seminars at the Outlander conference in Glasgow University for 2 years ago. It was such an honor to be chosen. I had really never thought I would be chosen. And I was chosen to do 2 classes, which was amazing. And sadly, COVID canceled the event. So we couldn't do it. So alas, my dreams of seeing Scotland had to go on hold again. Hopefully I'll get there someday. So the members of the Beehive study group at Outlander Cast encouraged me to launch this Queen Bee's Hive patron page. After countless hours over the last year and a half that I spent researching and planning and hosting and prepping this study for Diana's next book release, Go Tell the Bees That I'm Gone. And they wanted a way to support all the volunteer time I spent doing that, which turns out to really, it was well over 1,500 hours. I was shocked when I sat down and really thought about it. Um, so originally, it was really just meant to be a way for people that really appreciated all I did there, and wanted to give back a little bit to me. And for many, that study and that group was a godsend through the COVID nightmare. It became like a little haven, for people. But once I created the group, I began thinking of all of the interesting things I could do with this page and with this forum. So I thought, there's a lot I'd love to do if I had my own space to do it, but I never really had a platform that would let me do everything I would want to do. So now I have that. I thought, well, you know what? Why should I just have it be a thing to collect money? I'll do something with this page, and that's why I have started this entire push with this page. My concept for it, the vision for Queen Bee's Hive, will be a place where it'll give Gabaldon fans a unique place to immerse and discuss all things related to the Gabaldon settings and stories. To create a place and an environment where I would love to engage myself, and be and hang out because it has so many cool things that I love. So, what does that mean? And how is it different from every other group and every other page? So, there's a great quote by Diana that I always use regularly when I open my studies, and things that I teach. I always use this quote from her because it's so true. She says, within these pages of Outlander, you will find it all: history, warfare, medicine, sex, violence, spirituality, honor, betrayal, vengeance, hope and despair, relationships, the building and destruction of families and societies, time travel, moral ambiguity, swords, herbs, horses, gambling with cards, dice, and lives, voyages of daring, journeys of both body and soul, the usual stuff of literature. So I love that quote by her because it really does touch on the really varied aspects and genres that Diana touches in her work. And then if you get into the Laura John series, like she gets into the whole mystery genre as well there, all of the sci-fi aspect of it, but it's not overly sci-fi. It has all of the historical drama, and you learn a lot from the history and about the culture of the time. I mean, it's just this wealth of treasure, these books, and there's so much you could talk about and go off in little different directions. Um, so what I did was I developed subgroups. I developed categories that I'm going to touch on in each of my additions to this page. And what I'll do is when I post something, I will put the category that it falls under first. And then I will put hashtags on any categories it touches at the bottom, so that if you're searching through and you want to, like, when there's a lot of stuff there, you'll be able to search under one of the categories, hashtag one of the categories, and all of those will come up, for you to kind of sort through and find. So that's my plan, and I'll kind of let you know what we're talking about, what we're doing with this post, when you come in, because we're going to be very varied. So their first category is called topic talks, and that's pretty much like any topic that you, more like a thematic aspect, like home, community, blending science with the supernatural, fatherhood in Outlander, exploring the lore, nature versus nurture, pursuit of purpose and identity, sex and the role of sex in communication, the way Diana uses sex in Outlander, the role of violence in Outlander, uh, villains and antagonists and what they do for the story, time travel, loyalty and honor, communication and how communication is viewed in the Outlander world, different ways you see communications displayed, Mac Mojo and what that's all about, time travel, the blue light, the blue glow, animals. We'll probably do a post that really talks about each animal and how, what they contribute and what makes them endearing and so forth. Healing, all of that, herbology, whatever. So these will all just be different topics, and we'll talk about it, and I'll pull different examples and highlights and so forth through the whole Gabaldon universe. So that's number one. Number two is character hangout. And this is where we'll discuss a single character arc, journey, motivation, strength, flaws, favorite moments, heartbreaking moments, major points and turns over their arc of their character. That's what we'll be doing with the character hangout. It could be a major character, could be a minor character, could be whatever. Um, Third, we have Craft Corner. Craft Corner is all about the craft, and this is for the nerds among us, the geekizoids that love the writing, love to see like how Diana works, love to see how she puts these stories together, love to see how her mind works on things, love to kind of analyze the craft and the work of her writing. So we'll be, in there we might talk about narrators and POVs and what she accomplishes with that, mob scenes and how she designs those, how she creates layers in the writing, symbolism, her literary techniques that she's like her favorite literary techniques that we see a lot repeated in her work. How she writes sex scenes, how Diana herself and her life is reflected in her work. All of these types of things will be in the craft corner. Next, number 4, we have ties that bind. Ties that bind is all about relationships. This is pairings, usually pairings or triads, usually. It could be any relationship. I'm not just talking about couples, although couples, of course, is included, but it could be a parent and child relationship or adopted child relationship. It could be an interesting triad dynamic, like a Jamie, Claire, and John dynamic. It could be brothers like the Greys. It could be cousins like Ian and Bree, or Ian and Willie, and watching that dynamic. It could be friendships. It could even be an antagonistic relationship and how the conflicts are shown in there. What are the motivations? Are they valid? Do you believe in, like, all of that kind of thing, and we will talk about those connections as well. I think the relationships will be really great to explore. Favorite moments, tragic moments, what makes them unique, what's the conflict and tension in those relationships, etc. Because really, to me, it the relationships are all very interesting, all very unique. And it's really what really earmarks Diana's work is the relationships, the people, the characters, but also the relationships and why we love being part of these people's lives. What draws us in to want to know and sit down and eat honeycomb and molasses cookies out of the hearth and all of the other stuff that we just love, just the everyday moments, because we love these characters and we love being part of these relationships. And so we'll explore all that. Next, number 5, we have History and Culture 101. And this is where we'll discuss or share. I might share like a YouTube clip. It'll be like a little bit like some of the extras that I post, if you're familiar with what I do on the Beehive at Outlandercast. This will be interesting posts or things I say or things that I post. Information all about the history, events, and culture that's touched on in the Outlander universe, or something that we're pollinating, which is going to be another category I'm going to discuss in a minute. We might talk about the cleansing of the Highlands, leading to the flood of immigrants to the Carolinas or Canada. We might talk about the 45 Rising, Klan history, Jacobite Rising, different areas of the Revolution, the Southern Campaign. I'm going to be actually posting one or two things on that right away to kind of prepare you for bees. Historical figures, the spies of the Revolution, the lure of the sun feasts and fire feasts, and how that dictated so much of the Scottish and Celtic history, the Celtic history, like all of that type of stuff. Um, will be under history and culture. Basically, the historical aspects touched on by this series and by this author. She actually has close to 2,000, I believe now, or more than that, I believe now, in her research library of things that she uses to research for these books. So I mean, it's immense, how much that she puts into this. And so, it's fascinating just to go on this cultural and historical journey with her, even without the characters. But so there's a lot to explore in these books. Um, Series review. Now, series review, that's our next category. Series review will be all about the TV show. We'll discuss either an episode, a storyline, a scene, or a season of the show that was particularly worth talking about in some way, shape, or form. We might talk about the adaptation from the book and what we thought about it and what we think they did and how they did and why they made the choices they made, etc., from a book reader perspective. Then we have pollinating. That's another category. And these are discussions um, of related books or shows. Okay. Here's where we will stretch into other works, TV, books, movies, or documentaries that cross paths with our Outlander world or genres. I don't want us to feel like we're all boxed in and that we can only talk about Outlander and we can only talk about Diana Gabaldon and that's it forever, end of story, because I think that really overly limits what we can do. Not that there is an unlimited amount of things we can talk about, but I want to be able to stretch us to other things. Um, and I also want to do other things that help inform the main purpose of what we're doing. So here is where we can do books or stories or TV shows that kind of touch in the same genre or world or something that is somehow connected in some way, shape, or form to Diana Gabaldon's work. It'll be something like, if you love Outlander or if you love this aspect of Outlander or something of that nature, you will love this story or you will enjoy this book. On the horizon in this category, just to kind of give you an idea, we're going to be going through the show Turn, and I'm going to be doing a regular talk on each episode of Turn. We'll also be looking at Susanna Kearsley's Scottish series, in particular, Vanished Days. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing Winter Sea or not, which is also in that series, and it kind of is going to be somewhat loosely connected to Vanished Days. So you may want to read that story first. I may end up covering it here, but I'm not sure that I will. So but I would love for you to wait to read Vanished Days and read it with me in pace with me, so that we can kind of talk about what could be coming up next and what could be going on together. I like to do that with bees too, but I know I'm not going to be able to talk you into that. Um, So, book look is our next category. That is checking out or analyzing a specific scene, chapter, section, or story of the Outlander verse, of Diana's work. Or connected moments between two books, and then look at the scene here and look at this scene here and kind of break it down and analyze it. It's kind of what we do, like basically what I do in the Beehive, we'll be doing here, but not as encompassing, like the novels and stuff, because I want to keep that for Outlander Cast Beehive group, where we just are steadily going through a book and doing these in-depth studies each week there. Like I want to keep that as a thing I do there. So here, this will be more smaller, like pieces that I just really want to deep dive this one scene. And that's how it would work. And then we have Deets and Peaks. Deets and Peaks are Diana's comments, new daily lines, news that's been released, announcements or trailers and discussions of those things that are based around that. You know, like if Diana comes out with something and I go, whoa, you know, I got to share this, I got to talk about this, it'll be, will I'll come on, I'll share this item that she said or these couple items that she said, or I'll talk about a group of things I pulled together about a certain person or a certain topic and we'll discuss it. Or it'll be if she released daily lines that are particularly intriguing, I might bring them on and say, okay, Diana put out daily lines today. Let's read them and then like talk about like what this could be, you know, or whatever. So what it tells us. Not that they ever really tell you much, but you know, it would be fun to talk about. Or in news or trailers that are released for the show, it'll all fall under Deets and Peaks. Lastly is um, a anything goes Zoom session, and what that's going to be, it's initially going to be if like to be a participant in the Zoom session, that's going to be a reward for the $10 Le Dame Blanche and above um, level, okay, can participate in the Zoom session. But basically, ask me anything, book, show, anything goes. Whatever, you know, if a theory, about a prognostication, about something that, you know, we're trying to debate about Richardson, whatever. You know, you can ask me anything about whatever. I'm not saying that I know the answer to everything, but we'll talk about it. And we'll do those sessions at least once every other month, possibly once a month. But then after, I'm going to record the sessions and then post them. So all of the patrons will be able to see, all of like Sassenach and above will be able to see, or those that couldn't come to the Zoom will be able to see the Zoom, see all the questions that were asked, see the answers that were given, see whatever, you know, see the entire discussion. But to participate in it and actually be one of the people that are talking and interacting on the Zoom, you need to be a Le Dame Blanche level or up. That's going to be that's a reward for that level and up. Um, Also, we're going to be doing Bees chapter by chapter first takes. So once Bees is released on the Outlander Cast Clan Book Club, we'll be deep diving Bees about 6 months after the release. Basically, what I'm doing now with Moby, we'll be doing with Bees in 6 months. However, I will start immediately reading the book and posting chapter by chapter first takes here, where you will get my unfiltered gut reaction, gut prognostication, whatever, to each chapter without really knowing what's next. As soon as I finish reading a chapter, I'll be posting it. Um, you know, most of these will probably be about 30 minutes or so, 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. It'll be maybe shorter if it's like a one-page chapter and there's not too much to say about it. But I only ask if you do read ahead of me. I would love for you to just stay on pace with me because that would make it more fun. But I know that that may not happen. I know I'm dreaming to think that, but maybe some of you will, just to kind of get the experience with it. But if you have read ahead, do not put like comments that are going to be spoilish for what's coming ahead. I mean, I will have to delete those comments, but you know, be aware that we're trying to enjoy this as we go. I'm doing this for you guys. So don't spoil it for me. Don't spoil it for those that are following along with me and doing it at my pace. So let's see. Um, but the good thing about this is we're holding off on the page, and I know probably a lot of pages are doing that. They're going to have a period of time where you can't just freely discuss the book, you know, because they want to give people a chance to read it first. So this will give you each chapter, you'll be able to comment, you'll be able to have conversation on each chapter as you go and be able to discuss. So it will give you a place where, you know, you can commiserate with friends and you can tell them, you know, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And have people to wallow in your pain or in your joy together with as you go. I will likely, especially at first, be dropping these out daily, maybe a couple daily, because I don't want to be held up forever either reading it. So I want to do it. I'm going to be probably doing it at a fairly regular pace. So I would encourage, if you can, to stay with me and do it with me, and rather than just bull reading through the whole book right away and then feeling like you can't participate in conversation because you know it's coming, it's going to influence what you say. So just be aware of that. I would love your feedback as well, on everything that I've said. I hope this gives you an idea of what you can look forward to on this page. It'll be a place where, like I said, you can really wallow in every angle and piece that Diana touches with this work. It will be a place where, if you love these books and this author, then you will enjoy all that we touch here and explore here in this community. And I would love your feedback. I would love to know what you're looking forward to, what I've said here in all of these different categories that you seem to like really vibe and you can't wait for. What kinds of things would you like me to look at from each category? I've listed the category and so forth, broken all the breakdowns in the comments of this post, in the description of this post, so you can go back and kind of see it all. And let me know like what kinds of things from each category you're interested in, so that I can kind of vibe what you'd like to know more about, what you'd like to hear more about, and I will try to develop posts for that. So please comment on that. Next, I want to talk about the support tiers. Now, let me talk a little bit about this. It's not going to take long, but you have all been super, super generous, super, super loving and kind. I truly feel honored by your support, all of your support, whether it's $5 a month or $30 a month. I'm beyond humbled and touched that, first, that many of you suggested that I even set out on this venture. I would have never done this on my own without suggestions from all of you. And second, that you supported me so readily in it before I even shared a post. You guys all signed up for this page. You're all very, very dear to me, and have been really a godsend, of friends. Please know I would never, never, never want people to see this as some money grab, or bait and switch or anything like that. I never want people who have a real, genuine love and interest in something, especially Diana's wonderful work, and something, a discussion about it, to not be able to access it because they can't afford support at a certain level, or to try to like push them, if you want to see this, you got to pay this. I don't want it to be like that. So for that reason, I will always make recorded content, or even like if I do a live like on the Patreon page, which I haven't even figured out how to do yet, but if I do that, all of that, that content will be available to all patrons, from the minimum to the maximum support level. I will never like bar you from that content. However, that said, this is a support thing for me. It's actually my only income at the moment, for a few reasons. My husband recently had surgery, and he is, for various reasons, we are not able, because of COVID mainly, we're not able to get disability for him being off. So really, this is our only income right now. So I truly appreciate those that do support my work here, and on Outlander Cast, all the work I put in there at the higher levels if you're able to. So while content will be for all, I do feel like those that support at above the minimum level should be recognized and rewarded in some way. So I have come up with some like little incentives and rewards that I hope that you'll enjoy. I hope you like what I've come up with. Each level will enjoy everything in the previous levels, plus like an extra thank you at their level. So that's kind of how I've structured it. I'm calling this the honey, all the honey, that we're going to be rolling out, that you get with being a patron of this page. So at the lowest level, Sassenach level, $5 a month. That allows you to view and engage. When I say engage, I mean like in comments and so forth. View and engage on all posted content. Of course, be considerate, be kind, or your engagement might be deleted if it's, bashing somebody or whatever. You know how to act. Participation in trips, or outings, or anything that we plan as a group, or as anything that we would do, it would be for anyone that wants to come. voting in polls. I'll be sending random cards out to people, and it would include all the patrons. And when I do that, I may change or add to or whatever over time this, the basics of this page. um so, because I'm still like getting myself ingrained in what I'm doing here, so that's subject to change, but that's pretty much like what I'm seeing for Sassenach level, and pretty much everybody that's a patron. um La Dame Blanche, which is $10 a month, gets everything that we already said for the Patreon, for the Sassenach level. Plus, they are allowed to then jump in and participate in the Anything Goes Zooms that I'm going to have, where you can ask a question on any Outlander topic, book, or show. Um, and I will do my best to respond, and we'll be able to have a conversation about it. These will be recorded and posted for all patrons. Those that were able to come to the Zoom or weren't able to come to the Zoom will be able to see them, as well as Sassenach level people. And I'm hoping to do these every other month. That's subject to change. I might do them more often if it seems like it's fluid and easy enough to do. White Raven level, which is $15 a month, has everything of the 2 levels above, plus a quarterly drawing for a prize gift, as well as when I have random notes that I make for a certain type of podcast, or outlines that I want to share that I think are interesting aspects for the podcast, an extra addendum-y type of thing, charts, timelines, something like that. You'll be on the email list to receive those. Those will be kind of an above and beyond um, extra piece that I've kind of put together, and created. So those would be some extra things for White Raven. Lollybrock level, which is $20 a month, has everything in the levels above what I just said, plus monthly shout out to the people that, it'll be like I'll do a couple each podcast, at the end of each podcast, where I can really talk about each person, and give a shout out for them. And so, over the month, I'll make sure that I get everyone in. That's in that is in a $20 level and above. Fraser's Ridge level, which is $25, gets everything in the other 4 levels, plus a special interview, guest, or spotlight video to introduce you to the hive, to the Queen Bee's hive that you helped to create with your generosity. It'll be you be on a video interview, like a little interview to introduce you to the group, and talk about, yourself, like let them get to know you, because it's because of you that this is, you are a big contributor, and you help really make this happen. So I want you to have some kind of recognition as well for it. You'll be have an intro video and a little Q&A with me on there. And for the Craig Dune level, which is our top level, $30 a month, you get everything in the other levels, plus, this is exciting, plus you will get to be a podcast co-host with me on an agreed on topic of your choice. Every 6 months, I will do a podcast video that you co-host with me. So that would be really fun. And as however many we have, I'll just keep moving them around, and we'll get everybody in every 6 months. So that's pretty much what I'm planning to do for the levels. Now, I am estimating all of this. Things may be subject to change. It's a viscous situation. See what I did there? And as we set things up, or if things become like non-viable, or like I had a thought, but it's not really working out like I planned, this might fluctuate a wee bit, and I might have to tweak some things as I get a good routine going. Remember, I'm still doing all of the Outlander cast stuff. I haven't left that, so I'm still doing a lot of work there. Book studies, blogs, and then the show's about to start, so this is going to open up a whole nother can of worms that we do. So when that starts in February. So I may have to tweak things here or there, find like a working rhythm sweet spot. So just bear with me, but this is my plan for now. For the future thoughts, I'd like to come up with some kind of a referral plan. Somehow that if you spread the word and people come and they join this page, become a patron based on your referral, that I can do something for that, and give you an incentive to share the page and the information, because I'm really hoping to grow this page. And I also want to see how I can develop a community for this, as well as some of the partner companies that work with Patreon. I think there's something called Crowdcast that they use for certain things. Um, there's a way to do a live event, in here. I have to find out how to do that. Also, we'll be planning like a future in-person event or trip down the road. So these are all things that are kind of gelling in the future. So hopefully this post gets you a little bit excited about all that's to come here on the Queen Bee's Hive. I hope that you will also encourage your friends that would love this community and content to join us as well. Please share this page. Word of mouth and testimonials are always the best way to spread the pollen. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little post, and I will be getting shortly up a bit on the Southern campaign to get you familiarized for Go Tell the Bees that I am gone. Much love to you all. Thank you for being a patron of mine, and I hope that you enjoy the page. Please don't hesitate to message me or send me suggestions of your content and comment below. Much love to you. Bye.